Oh, are you using Power BI? You want to get started in Fabric, but you think it's just so expensive you can't get into it? Well, I got great news for you. If you want to get started in Fabric, it could cost you as little as like $20 a month. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this quick little tutorial video. I'm pretty pumped about it. It's going to make a really engaging and dynamic solution that's going to give you like endless potential in the future, but cost you very little amount of money to get started today. Let's get into it. All right, do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And if you want early access to this content, become a member for as little as $5 a month. You can get early access into all of my videos. All right. So here we are. We're talking about what does it take to get into Fabric. You can get started with the smallest capacity out there. The smallest capacity I've got already stood up here. I call it Eagle. This is an F2 capacity. Okay. Now, if we look at what the scale or the size of this is, the cost of this, if you run it 24/7, 365 for a month without reserving it, it's $262 a month. All right. But you can, if you choose to reserve it, you get like 40% off or whatever it is. I think the price comes down to like 200 some odd dollars a month if you do that. But what you're not going to do that, at least not yet. If you want to really keep this skin and bones, what we're going to do is we're going to be pausing this service automatically every single day. We're going to start it up automatically at midnight. We're going to run it for an hour or two, and then we're going to pause it as you know, after we get done loading our data and loading our information. Okay, so this cost, and I know a number of companies that are actually using Fabric so they could take advantage of all sorts of amazing capabilities. And they're doing this pattern. It's costing them like basically a little bit more than Netflix in order to get that up and running. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details around starting and stopping, but I'm just showing you that you start with this low cost option, and then we basically use Fabric for in this limited capacity, and then transition over to Power BI Pro for our reporting. And let me show you how that works. Okay. So if I go into my environment and I've set up my workspaces for my SMB environment, right? So I'm going to be using it's going to be very simple, right? I've got my SMB engineering workspace. It's going to be my Fabric workspace, and I'm going to be doing all my data engineering inside of there. And I'm going to have my SMB analytics or my Power BI Pro workspace. All right. That means that all my data engineering is going to happen inside of this premium capacity here. And all of my users are going to be accessing via my SMB analytics or my Power BI Pro licensing through here. Okay, what does that cost? That's costing, what is it? That one costs $10 per user per month. And you're like lots of you guys are already doing this one, right? When we go down to like our engineering, we're talking like 20 to $200. We'll say 260. Let's not be over like small, but like you can keep this as low as you want in order to get up and running and started. Okay, so if you want to save more money, just you know keep it on for a smaller period of time to keep it closer to that $20. Okay. Now, inside of my engineering workspace, I'm going to have two things I'm going to do inside of there. I'm going to be using I'm going to run all my data pipelines. And in this case, I've got just like a copy job. All right. I run a copy job from my SQL server that's on-prem. I copy this out and I store it into a lakehouse that I've got that's out inside, that's out and available for me. Now, this lakehouse is great because it allows me to have structured and unstructured data all in the same environment. That lakehouse item content is then available through a SQL Analytics endpoint. So SQL endpoint for queries and for loading our other models, and it's available through a semantic model here. I'm actually not going to use this one because I'm only going to be using this environment for a limited period of time to basically load it, make sure that my warehouse is up for my loads that are going to run off of it, and then it's going to be paused and the capacity is going to like stop costing me money. Okay. Then inside of my analytics workspace, I'm basically going to have two components. One, I'm going to have my store data. And when I say store data in this case, I'm just talking my semantic model in import mode. So I'm going to take the data that's in my lakehouse, I'm going to import it into my semantic model, and then I'm going to build my reports off of that. Okay. And because if we look at this workspace settings, and we go to our licensing information, we're running this off of our pro licenses. There's no additional cost for people to go in here. There's no fabric costs associated with it. It's just your Power BI user licenses. So you're either paying $10 a user a month, or maybe you've got an E5 license and your users get access through there. Either way, this works out great. So you could have this up 24/7. Microsoft manages like the performance on it. They manage the scale. They manage all that stuff in the background. Um, but I can be up and running, and I can have great reports that offer a whole lot of functionality inside of it, right? I've got my visuals, I've got all of my like Q&A. Whatever I want as part of Power BI, it's all accessible through here. Now, the big key or the secret inside of this to make sure that this works, as I said, it's making sure that your model or your report is in import mode. Just to make sure you see what that means, I'm going to actually look at the model. Let me go over to my model. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, well, I actually have this model imported in, and you can actually see I'm not connected to anything because this model is actually managed inside this report. So it's an import model, right? It's a natively imported in. Now, you might be saying to yourself, "Hey, Chris, how the heck do I do that?" I tried connecting to my lake house, and it just it didn't work. It connected to the semantic model, and like when I paused it, it failed. Well, let me show you the secret here, okay? So when I go into my one lake data hub, I'm gonna go down to my lake house. All right. I'm gonna be looking for my SMB lake house. I'm gonna choose my SMB lake house. Now here is the secret. Slide over so you can see this. When I hit connect, let me zoom in so you can see this here. Okay. This is the magic. There's connect here. This is what's going to connect you to the semantic model that sits on top of the lake house. This is bad. Do not connect to this guy. All bad juju, angry face on this guy, right? This is the one you want. This makes us happy because what this allows us to do is like import like the data like we were working inside of a SQL server, right? So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to choose connect to SQL endpoint. It's going to load up. It's going to give me an option for what tables I want to connect to. It's going to give me a second. And I'm going to see all sorts of tables in here. Now, please note, all of these tables up here are like system tables. They are great if you want like analytics, like metadata analytics of performance and whatnot running on top of your lakehouse. And that's a whole nother video. I don't care about any of that stuff, so we don't want that. All I care about is connecting to my DBO tables, or in this case, I just have one simple table to make it easy. I've got my dim account table. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to say load, and it's going to ask me. And again, this is an important step. Do you want this to be an import model where you've imported the data in, or direct query where it's going to query that lakehouse directly without importing the data? For this to work, you have to do the import. You're going to find the best results here anyways, right? So you're just going to say import. You're going to import that data in, and then from here, you just go on with your Power BI development. You make your models, you make your you do your joins, you do your measures, you build out your report pages. All that good stuff happens until you get to something that you want to publish out. And you publish out to the service, and you're off to the races. All right. All right. So what do you think? Super easy implementation. 2 workspaces, one for Fabric, one for Power BI reports, and then a super easy to work with infrastructure. Like I just showed you like a copy job that goes into Lakehouse. You can build out some data flow Gen 2s and maybe you load them into a warehouse. Whatever it is that's going to work for you, go ahead and do that. But just keep it as simple as possible for what you need. The great thing about Fabric is it makes it really easy to use other things. So maybe someday you want some advanced pipeline. Great. On that day, use that thing. Until you get to that day, though, don't. Keep it as simple as what you need for your solution, right? I like these 2 steps because I get to use Fabric and I rely upon my Power BI Pro licensing for all my reports and users. It makes it just super easy and low cost. All right. If this made sense to you, make sure you give this a big thumbs up and leave me a comment down below if you have questions or if you're going to use this or what your feedback is or thoughts. Love to hear from you. This is about as like one of the simplest ways I could think of using Fabric to take advantage of all these amazing capabilities, but it really does set you up so that at any point in time you can use real-time streaming or data science or whatever it is. You just have to like incrementally expand and take those like knowing steps forward with how you spend your money, but not spending anything more than what you need to have. So it's a fantastic platform and just so easy for people to work with. All right. You have the best day ever. Peace. Okay, I get like this stuff can be complicated. We want to simplify it. Maybe you need some help. Getting this up and running can be a little overwhelming to some people, especially if you're not in tech. Well, don't worry, I got you. Head over to bakertilly.com/digital. Myself or one of my coworkers, after you fill out the little form out there, we'll reach out to you. We'll give you a hand. We'll set you up. All that good stuff. And we'll make sure you're okay. All right. But if you think you can do this yourself, and I know you can, check out this video or this one to get you more knowledge and information.